What's up guys? Today we're taking a full and comprehensive look at Goldeneye with Mario characters. This mod has been out for a few years and chances are you might have at least seen some glimpses of it, with all of the common enemies being replaced by Koopa Troopas, and that would of course mean that you're Mario, but there's actually a lot more to see here than just some Koopas. The main character selections for your associates are downright hilarious, and there was just great novelty to playing through all 20 missions in Mario Goldeneye. The only coverage I've seen on Goldeneye with Mario characters are full playthroughs over a couple hours long, but today we're digging out the highlights from all 20 levels, showing off all 20 mission clearing cutscenes, then doing a little multiplayer level exploration at the end. So sit back, relax, and please enjoy this wide array of highlights, changes in dialogue, and cameos from this full playthrough of Goldeneye with Mario characters. In the Dam mission, this is when you'll notice a few things. Goldeneye with Mario characters is an easier game than the original, with your enemies being much bigger targets. So headshots are now a breeze, and not only that, they also move significantly slower. Like, remember the guy that runs to hit the alarm in the original? You could always run him down, but this is something else. I mean, you're waiting on this guy all day. It makes sense, obviously. I mean, they are turtles, but he's basically running in mud. And it's at this moment you might realize that even if he were to sound the alarm, it looks like backup won't be as threatening as usual, moving at this speed. You'll also notice that the alarms are much closer to the ground for the shorter-bodied Koopa guards. Your perspective is also a bit shorter than normal too, which is easier to notice around tables and stuff like that. I also explored down underneath the dam, and there wasn't anything too surprising here, just a butt ton of more Koopas that are incredibly easy to headshot. So let's move on to the next level after watching Mario bungee jump from the dam. Facilities a mission where you're going to see some pretty surprising and funny stuff, and it answers questions that you might have had. If the enemies are Koopas, then who are the scientists? Who is Trevelyan? Who is Dr. Doak? And if you stick around for the final moments, who is Orimov? Well, let's find out. So we put our recent target time practice into play here, and the slower enemies help make that pretty easy. With Dr. Doak's location being in one of 7 places, it took me a few tries before actually coming in contact with him. But when I finally did, oh my god, it's Toad. How perfect and hilarious is that? This mission is also when we get to start seeing changes in dialogue. Seeing Toad here is obviously surreal, and that's only the beginning. Who better to have waiting for us in the tank room than 002 himself, Luigi? This dialogue, along with others, is pretty funny because you can see they add a little Italian accent to it, with an A after certain words. You can also see these brothers are not doing this mission for England, but for Brooklyn instead. Or as Mario says, "For a Brooklyn, Luigi?" But that's not all the entertainment we have to see here. The first time I played the mission, I went ahead and finished after detonating the mines, but let's go ahead and try that again to see what else we get. And oh my lord, what kind of game are we in for here? That looks absolutely ridiculous. One thing for sure, Mario Goldeneye will get you to smile, if not laugh out loud, at least a handful of times. There are some surprises ahead too that I can't wait to show you guys, but first, just had to see what it would be like chasing Bowser through the facility. Crazy enough, the first time I tried to chase Bowser, he missed the stairs, and it made me wonder if that's just how this situation plays out with his much larger frame. But it's always good to double check, and I'm really glad I did because he actually hit it right this time, and oh boy, isn't that the sight to behold. I mean, it just looks so insane. Like, what a world we live in for this to even exist. My inner child is basically screaming right now, and all I can say is, wow. I followed him until he despawned, and it's pretty interesting stuff. But anyway, let's see the cutscene and move on to the next mission. Moving on to Runway, this is going to be quick coverage because we'll only be focusing on stuff that's new, and you're just going to encounter Koopa Troopas like you'd expect, They do have a couple little additions you won't be expecting ahead though. On Runway, there's not a whole lot to add here. It is kind of crazy to be running over Koopa Troopas in a tank. I'm sure some players would really have a lot of fun with that, but let's move on to the next mission. Now we get to Surface. You guys want to see an outfit? Mario's looking extra dapper out here in the snow. Rocking the all-white suit with his top hat, it's the type of outfit you'd expect out of Mario Odyssey, and gets you pretty excited for what else you'll see. The Koopas have their winter jackets on, which is a nice touch and pretty funny. Not too much else to add here. Let's see the end of the level cutscene and move on to the next mission. By the way, look at how he just floats down that shaft. You gotta love it. Now we're in the bunker and get to see another fun character inclusion. You probably remember Boris, the hacking nerd. Well, what character did they use for him? After watching this Koopa struggle for dear life to reach that alarm, let's head down there and take a look. Could it really be? We have officially come into contact with Yoshi, and good God, is he an intimidating physical presence. This dude is huge. It's seriously so crazy to look at the Yoshi model being used this way. Something I have to point out, I noticed that the camera taking a picture of the main screen didn't work on this level, which is really strange, and I couldn't get it to clear that objective 2 attempts in a row. But luckily, all the missions are already unlocked from the start, so it doesn't really matter. If you remember though, we need Yoshi for his hacking skills, and in Goldeneye, pretty hilarious to be pointing a gun at him and screaming, in your best Mario voice, "Disable the security!" In the original, Boris spells out his password, knockers. What could it possibly be here? ALL is real 2401. Now that's freaking crazy. If you don't know what the whole ALL is real means, you'll want to look that up, but basically it's the message people thought that they were reading written on the courtyard statue in Mario 64, and they also thought it tied into the legend of Luigi being real in the game. After making our way past the lethargic security, we are headed onto Silo. Silo's funniest part comes at the end. After mowing through floor after floor of Koopas, and also discovering the camera does work on this objective when you photograph the satellite, we get to see our pal Bowser at the end of the stage. And just like in the original, you can catch up to him, which just looks so insane having this massive body of Bowser running through these hallways. It's just mind-blowing to take it in, like it isn't just one big fever dream after all. But after seeing the cutscene, we're moving on to the next mission, Frigate. Frigate has some fun surprises. The expressions of the hostages are a really cool and funny touch, with the little crying teardrops of fear and even after death, which is kinda sad. That's not all though, there are 2 major surprises on this stage. Speaking of those hostages, never would have guessed in the engine room the hostage was special. SMG4, a blue Mario with some special dialogue for us. I actually spent a couple minutes following him around the ship to see if there was any other Easter egg with him, but nothing came of it, just got to enjoy retracing our steps a few times before giving up on it and seeing him disappear. How about near the helicopter though, where you plant the tracking bug? How perfect is it that there's a paratrooper here? Of course he'd be the pilot, it only makes sense. He tells you to stay away, and he's warning you. The first time I killed him as an enemy, but that got me wondering, what if I didn't? So we retry and go back to see him again, to see what else he might say. Well, that warning he gives you, he's not lying. After throwing the tracker bug, he whips out his shotgun and immediately fires. So that's not only funny, but also cool because now you can pick up a shotgun on Frigate and you never could do that before. But let's watch Mario get back on his little boat and onto the next mission in Surface 2. Surface 2 doesn't seem to have anything more notable than Surface. You're back in your white suit, and the Koopas, nothing novel to point out here, so I won't waste our time. Let's watch the cutscene and move on to the next stage, where we see another special character. In Bunker 2, who would be subbed out for Natalia? Well, Princess Peach, of course. It's really cool to see her in this game, and just like some other characters, she's quite huge. I mean, Peach is as big as a mainframe. Peach is ideal if you're looking to breed for some athletes. With how she's put together, she had me curious on her running animations, and man, what the heck is that? But you have to admire the effort put into this at least. It's kinda obvious that her dress is put together in multiple pieces, and it's a funny sight to behold, but it's not the last we will see of her. Using your throwing knives has also never been more fun with these targets so large. Bunker 2 becomes way easier with the big slow guards, just like most of the other levels, and that's all that really stood out here. Let's see their escape and move on to Statue. Statue has quite a few special characters in it. With the mission spelled out, you can see some of them. Pretty exciting to know that you'll be meeting with Wario. I hope somebody can help me with this Unmasked Casino reference though. There are 4 special characters here. There's Wario as Valentine, Luigi as Trevelyan, Peach as Natalia, and you might wonder, who is the 4th? Well, keep in mind we see Defense Minister Mishkin at the end of this, and I can promise you, it's one of the most bizarre and funny things in the entire game. Dialogue is mostly the same, except for the important additions of wah and Italian accents. It takes longer for Luigi to show up than normal, especially if guards are in pursuit of you, which can throw you off because they're so slow and for a little bit it seems like the level's not working. But after clearing up those guys, we see Luigi in his tuxedo vest. So we complete the Unmasked Casino objective, and then we're running back to the helicopter to rescue Peach. We grab the black box from the explosion, and here's a moment that just made me laugh out loud. Who is Mishkin and his associates? It's a weird sight. We've got the heads of Koopas on the bodies of Donkey Kongs, and we get to see Donkey Kong himself as Mishkin, which is just awesome. Absolutely love that we're here standing, looking at Donkey Kong pointing a gun at you. Would be pretty funny if it was his coconut gun, but like I said, the whole scene though is really weird to take in, and overall I just don't even know what else to say, but it's hilarious. Archives is a quick one, especially after our practice for the target times. We run our way to go rescue Peach, not even firing any shots, just trying to make this as quick as possible, surrounded by those DK bodies and Koopa heads. It reminds me of that Simpsons episode when Bart enters the portal at the same time as a fly. But anyway, we go and rescue Peach, and per usual, since these guards turn their focus onto you, she's free to run away. It's time to go to the safe and get that key for the black box, but here's another cameo for you. We encounter Pauline. Now that's an obscure reference. And would you look at that, all of a sudden we've got Pauline and Peach side by side in Goldeneye. Pretty insane. Wasn't expecting that at all. And after opening the safe, we're running for the exit and get to enjoy another little cutscene. Streets is one that we don't need to spend much time on. There's nothing too crazy here. We shoot down more Koopas and rendezvous with Wario. We get to see some more of wah and wah and more of their little Italian accents. Finishing the stage has more Koops scattered throughout. The civilians are pretty funny to look at though. It's always pretty goofy for the stages you can take on hordes of Koopas in your tank. But let's finish it off, see the cutscene, and move on to the next mission. Depot doesn't have anything super unique going on. We shoot down more Koopas, play the level as you'd expect, and that's all I can really say. Not a ton of changes to be made to this level. Most worthwhile thing here is the end of the level cutscene. Train. I've been waiting to show this one off to you guys. Train's ending on 00 Agent is actually totally different because of the size of Bowser. Firstly, gotta point out how much insanely easier it is because of the crates getting in the way of the Koopa's lower height of fire. That makes Train a complete breeze in multiple cars. It's like you're shooting fish in a barrel. I mean, they're completely helpless as they can't shoot you. Things are a bit more even down the hallways and toward the end of the stage, but like we pointed out already, they're so much slower with much bigger heads, so that helps make things really easy. But as I mentioned earlier, the end of the train on 00 Agent is way trickier. If you remember how you would position yourself to shoot Ourumov and Xena right past him, you're not going to do the same thing here with Bowser being completely in the way, making it feel damn near impossible. I had to retry this stage and get back to you with another idea. By the way, Xena is now Daisy, so guess who you're fighting in the next stage in the jungle. This time, going to the left, I screwed it up the first time and killed Peach, which was devastating. Second try though with the strategy, a few minutes later, was able to pull it off, and luckily Peach survived getting shot once in the leg. So Peach goes to work on the computer, trying to hack through Yoshi's codes for information. And here's another beautiful touch of dialogue. When Natalia cracks the final code, she says, "You're a slughead, Boris." But here, Peach says, "Got it. You're an egghead, Yoshi." You gotta love that. It's so epic. And so is the cutscene with Mario and Peach running side by side from an exploding train. Speaking of epic, Jungle is where we receive arguably the best outfit in the game. Can you even contain yourselves? Now that is a flex. Very nicely done. We've got another Odyssey looking outfit themed after Mario Sunshine, complete with those shine stars and shades. And we've got Peach with her sleeveless Sunshine apparel as well, touting her Cougar Magnum. This is a truly remarkable duo. As expected, we of course encounter Koopas with AR-33s and drone guns, but moving ahead to the mid-level boss fight with Daisy, this was pretty funny. I was going to take aim early to take out Daisy easily as usual, but then I realized I wanted better footage than that, so please enjoy with your own eyes as Peach is taking out Daisy with her Magnum, something I never thought I could possibly witness. Rest of the stage basically goes as expected, more Koopas to mow down. The final cutscene though is pretty funny because it looks like the size of the characters, their additional width messes with them not fitting together in the elevator. Instead of making a smooth escape like normal, you get to see Mario outside of the elevator as it closes behind him. Pretty weird and also hilarious. So here we are, already on the last row of the missions in the game, and I promise you it's worth seeing the rest of it. We have a few more cameos to go, and on Control, it appears we actually have a cameo by the creator of the hack. First part of the level all goes as you would expect with drone guns and Koopas, but moving on to the control room, we get to see our friend Yoshi again. He says, "Don't mind me, I just look after the refrigerator." Then says, "Don't shoot me, Luigi made me do it." And if you've played Goldeneye, you remember that Boris takes off running up a couple flights of stairs, saying he's invincible, and if you follow him, it shows you where a much needed suit of body armor is. Here, Yoshi cries out to the creator, "Help, stupid Mario Bros. 1 fan, help me." You might not think too much of that dialogue, but let's just say I'm glad I wasn't in the middle of taking a big drink because that would have ended up on the screen. Like, holy crap, was not expecting that. He says, "Yoshi, who scared you?" And I'm looking forward to seeing what else he'll say. Then it was at this moment I knew I screwed up. And it was too late to do anything. You know exactly what he just pulled. The golden gun. One-shot death. Starting the level over, so I play it again, and this time when we get back, I do want to make sure I get the body armor, and I'm not leaving it to chance, assuming he can die. The creator has some layers of armor, but hilariously, after shooting through all that, he falls down dying and asks, "Who do you think you are?" There's a bit more to say about this stage. Normally, it's a challenge to not get overrun by guards, but remember how we keep pointing out how slow and easy to headshot all the Koopas are? Well, you're in for the easiest form of control that you could possibly imagine. You don't even need to stick right next to Peach for most of it. You can take your time shooting these guys at a distance before they even get downstairs. It's so incredibly easy to hit their giant dome. However, you do have to look out for the side window guards that shoot through the glass without warning, because both of them appeared on this run, caught me by surprise, and Peach almost died. But anyway, she didn't, so we get through Control and can talk about caverns next. Caverns was a pretty interesting playthrough. There were a couple things I was curious about, like on 00 Agent, instead of radioing for help from Jack Wade, you called Toadsworth. I really wanted to know if that was some special dialogue because 00 Agent Caverns is one of the longest and most challenging missions, and you have to be really careful to not blow up the radio to even use it. Toadsworth says, "Got your bearings, Master Mario. Me and my boys are on our way." I can't even attempt a Toad impression, but I do want to see what it would sound like. I still wanted to play through Caverns again though, because it's a funny level to run past Trevelyan, or in this case Luigi, with him in his invincible state, and you're supposed to obviously be left behind and not do all of this, but it's really cool because you get to cut through the level's time drastically, since all of the doors are left open for Trevelyan and you get there first, including a huge one though that connects to the end of the stage. Nothing too surprising here, just funny to see yourself racing against Luigi in the caverns, especially as you're way ahead for that spiral part. After finishing things off though, in the cutscene where Mario goes to cross his arms, they get lost in his body, so that's pretty funny looking. Just look at this guy, he's like a mannequin. So here we are on the final Goldeneye mission in the game, with 2 bonuses afterward, and don't forget, we still have cameos to be made for Jaws and Baron Samedi, plus those multiplayer maps. This final cutscene has the funniest touch of them all too. Before we get there though, obviously you have to chase around our arch nemesis, Luigi. This basically goes as expected, he's easy to catch up to, and it's just funny watching him run around with Koopa Troopas. When it's finally time to finish the fight, he's so wide you can't even really get past him as you try toward the end. It's a pretty savage ending overall. As Luigi is defeated and dying, he asks, "For Brooklyn, Mario?" And Mario says, "No, for me." Now that's deep. But check out Mario's jump to the helicopter. Now that's funny as hell. Wasn't expecting that even a little bit, and it had me laughing pretty hard the first time I saw it. Little too much wax on those legs, I guess. Moving on to Aztec though, we've got a super cameo coming that might make your jaw drop, so let's cut right over there. We make it through several rooms, of course, that now have Koopas in them, but are you ready for Jaws? Oh my dear lord, it's Waluigi! That is so funny. Like, of course he'd be the super tall, intimidating, difficult guy to bring down. Although he's a very dangerous boss fight, you can play with his behavior, and once we finally get past his layers of armor that allow him to not even flinch when being shot, we can get even closer to admire this guy. Who knew after seeing him in Mario Tennis First that he was destined for such great things? Some other funny stuff to point out, I died on the first full attempt at the worst of places. Or should I say, footage-wise, the best place possible, because it was on that final ladder, and if you've died here before, you know it can do some crazy stuff with your body as it falls into it. You'll get zipped to the top, and with the Mario body, it's quite the sight to behold. But anyway, so we run through this level again, this time to actually finish it, take on Waluigi a second time, and then stand like a badass in the glory of our shuttle launching. Egyptian is the final mission in the game, where we get the golden gun. Might as well tackle it in 00 Agent, because there are 3 body armors out here, and finishing it quickly gives you that all guns cheat. I was kind of expecting somebody super obscure to be Baron Samedi, but it's actually the final form of Bowser from Mario 64, with his rainbow skin that you would only find on him in the last of your encounters when he's at full power. You get to encounter him 3 times per usual. I tried to give him a bit more time to do something silly in the 3rd encounter, when he has the double lasers, but the funniest and most fitting of all is the final cutscene. First of all, it takes quite a while for Mario to walk where he needs to go, but never in your life would you expect to see something like this. I mentioned a fever dream earlier. That's truly what this all feels like. This is like the ultimate game over screen for Mario 64. But speaking of dreams coming true, that's the entirety of Goldeneye with Mario characters in the solo mode. I was totally shocked to see that we have 3 bonus multiplayer maps. This is truly insane right here. Peach's Castle, you have full reign to explore the entire thing. You can go in the basement, each of the painting's rooms, you can go all the way upstairs, and it kind of messes with your brain because you'll be expecting a quick cutaway as you open certain doors from memory, but everything is loaded here, and the most shocking part of all is you can even go outside. No way, I mean, it has it all. You can't go into the water, which isn't a surprise, but yeah, I'm just blown away by all of it, and I could only imagine the amount of fun we would have had with this while growing up on 4-player. Plus, if you ever wanted to simply walk through Peach's Castle in first person, now you can, and it's just unbelievable. There are 2 more maps to look at though, and would you believe it? They have the entirety of Babam Battlefield here for exploration. I mean, how cool is that? It's so awesome to be running around this place. 4-player battles on these maps with Mario characters would seriously be the best, and I can't wait for the first opportunity I get to make this happen. It's just one of those things that you can't stop smiling about as you're looking at it. As I was making my way to the very top, one thing I will say playability wise, you're not able to just walk off the edges in a lot of the map. It's not as free as you might think. You can't just step off the wooden bridge or even off the top of the mountain, which I wish you could instead of having to literally wind your way back down the entire thing. But anyway, this is amazing to look at, and we just have one more called Haunt. And of course, it's Big Boo's Haunt, the Haunted Mansion from Mario 64. Again, seeing all of this in first person while running around is just insane. Seeing something you've known for so long in a different way just really plays with your mind. The giant staircase to go up to the 2nd level, it's pretty hilarious to watch the characters move on that, but at least you have access to the upstairs. I mean, that's just awesome, and you even have access to the top balcony area. You aren't able to go down to the bottom level though. I tried, and invisible walls stop you from walking off the ledge down there, and I thought maybe the elevator in the little house outside would allow it, but no, that's missing too. Not as if these maps aren't plenty huge enough. I mean, there are so many different rooms, and space outside, it's incredible. Overall guys, just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed seeing all of the cameos, all of the levels, all cutscenes, and the few multiplayer stages as well. This game is of course available online, but they come on cartridges too, that work on your unaltered N64. They're like 20 bucks, and the novelty of being able to whip this out at some gaming gathering is pretty epic. Honestly, I can't wait to be that guy. Are you in the mood for more Goldeneye content, full game reviews, or top 10s? Be sure to check out the channel, and hope you subscribe. Looking forward to seeing you in the next video, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day.